Please look at Trump's new truth on lowering drug prices. The most important Truth Social post of all time. That's what he said. My next truth will be one of the most important and impactful I have ever issued. Enjoy. Oh boy. For many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the exact same laboratory or plant by the same company. The reason for this is, of course, that other more socialized healthcare systems actually negotiate the prices of the drugs that they purchase and then give to people, whereas in America, pharmaceutical companies pretty much have infinite leeway to, you over. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. People have always wondered why everything's 10 times more expensive here in the United States for seemingly no reason. Sadly, no one ever figured out why. You know he wrote this one. The pharmaceutical/drug companies would say for years that it was R&D costs and that all these costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne by the suckers of America alone. Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me and not with the Republican Party. Oh, I'm sure, which is, of course, why he and the Republicans immediately pushed back on Biden lowering the cost of prescriptions obtained through Medicare as soon as they got in power. We are going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize. Is he going to be putting export tariffs on our drugs? Oh God, there's no way. That would be funny. It would be very funny. How bad would that be? It would be pretty bad. You know how when we talk about tariffs, we mean import tariffs. You tariff stuff coming into the country. Those are bad. Export tariffs, where you charge on the shipping of stuff out of the country, are arguably a lot worse. Not to mention it's on pharmaceuticals. And for the first time in many years, bring fairness to America. I will be instituting a most favored nations policy, whereby the U.S. will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. But that would make a lot of them free, because a lot of these medications are free at the point of service. I have no idea. Shut the f up, let him cook. I have no idea what's going to come of this, but it's probably either going to be a nothing burger or apocalyptic. So he's introducing price controls on medications? Yes. Because he's not even talking about the government negotiating down the price of these drugs when they buy them to distribute them through things like Medicare. He's talking about the cost of these drugs in general. Also, export tariffs are black and white unconstitutional, by the way. Well, we'll see how much that matters. This is impossible to do. What he's describing is not possible for several reasons. It's not possible logistically, it's not possible economically, and it's not possible in the sense that if he did it, Pharma would have him disappeared. So I am curious to read the text of the executive order that he is signing. I'm trying to think of it's stupid of me to try to like read into a Trump tweet to try to like get a feel for what it means, because it's a Trump tweet, right? He doesn't know what he's talking about. But if it's export tariffs, that's apocalyptic. If it's domestic price controls, and the reason he's saying that other countries will pay more is because pharma companies would have to raise their prices externally to be able to sell them at that price internally in America. He's basically forcing drug companies to jack up foreign prices. That's what it seems like he's doing, but that still doesn't explain how he could even implement the price controls. Because again, the government has the ability to lower the cost of medication when they negotiate those prices through Medicare. Because in that case, the government is acting as the intermediary. They're saying, yeah, we'll buy insulin from these pharma companies so we can give them to people who are on Medicare, but we're not buying them for more than like $5 a vial. So that's the price you have to sell it to us at. And you got to sell it to us because we're Medicare, right? So, but he's advocating that the prices would go down for everyone. This is not doable. Our country will finally be treated fairly, and our citizens' healthcare costs will be reduced by numbers never even thought of before. Additionally, on top of everything else, the U.S. will save trillions of dollars. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Okay, well, Trump is actually a Maoist confirmed. Dude, the MAGA Maoism thing is unironically true. You have people who want like incredibly transformative social and governmental change, but who in many cases have no idea what they're doing, have a callous disregard for human life. There's like, you have a lot of like pseudo-populist anti-corporate rhetoric. I don't know. This is crazy. I'm actually kind of excited to see what the text of the bill is going to be now. Watch him walk this back tomorrow? I mean, maybe. Most of the cost is recouped on making extra pills. The pills are often in raw materials pennies. Yeah. Overwhelmingly, the reason Americans pay so much for pharmaceutical goods is because we're getting by the companies. That's it. R&D can often cost quite a bit. But why the do we pay so much for insulin? Oh yeah, the R&D. We're still paying off the R&D on that million years ago or whatever. I know they developed newer processes, but let's not kid ourselves here. We're being screwed over. I don't think this is going to fix it, but all right. A lot of the R&D is done by the federal government and universities anyway. Well, not anymore, of course, because federal grants have been cut for a bunch of like research. I mean, that's how we got modern vaccines, right? mRNA vaccines. Corporations aren't willing to give up billions in risky R&D, but the government will. Often it leads to good things, like how much stuff we got out of like NASA and space travel, microwaves or whatever. I guess we'll see how that goes.